a hunter-gatherer, if I was living at the time of the Brno puppet, I wouldn't have passed my genes on to my children, because I wouldn't have, I was born with astigmatism, I can't, it's all a blur. And I wouldn't have been able to shoot stuff, kill stuff, bring the mammoth home. I think about 63% of people in Britain now need visual correction. Most of us wouldn't have made it in Tasmania or Tierra del Fuego. Now we can pass that on. We obviously have, if we look at that descending brain size that's going on, I think at the moment it's quite clear that modern urban society can carry far more people who don't have a very high level of innate intelligence, for example. It's a very PC, or non-PC point to make, but we must have a wider range today than we have ever had before, and the trend will be that we are carrying much more, if you like, biological lesser ability, can I say that, than we ever have before, because we can compensate with all these things. You don't have to remember anything now. You don't need to know what a footprint is. You can look it up on take a photograph of it, put it through a Google program, and you say, oh, there's a cat being on our allotment. We did that the other day. I didn't know whether it was a cat or a rabbit or what it was. I hadn't learnt my footprints. Use the phone, click it, work it out. Oh, it's a cat, not a fox. And obviously with technology we are very much more powerful, we are smarter. We can actually see better, of course, than the Tasmanians or the Fuegians, because we have satellites, we have Hubble, we have electron microscopes. So in a farmed out way, in terms of extended intelligence, we are much, much, much smarter than people even 100 years ago. And so to summarise, cranial expansion should be viewed as preceded by cultural innovations such as cooking, use of edge tools and the emergence of carrying technology, especially baby sling. The continuing reverb of what Jean-Paul Sartre called the practical inert, that's the physical world, chairs, laptops, cars, brings humans into being as cultural artefacts. That has been long said by the anthropologist Clifford Geertz, and that those things effectively allow us to extend intelligence into the thing world. Effectively, I would argue that we are, as I said earlier, techno-biological symbionts. We're not really a biological species. We are extended through artifacts which are as much us as anything else. I often say to my students, if you made me an offer to completely destroy my library of books and I would never have access to them again, my books and articles in my office, or you could chop my left foot off, and that was the deal, what would I go for? And you could take the foot. Because that, although you might say that's biological, it's more me, it's not more me than what is in my library. My library extends my intelligence and creates my identity, and that is me. It's much more the signature of who I am, just as the signature of Shakespeare is in some pieces of paper and text, and not in some bones in the ground somewhere. The important bit of my identity is actually in there. I'd lose my foot rather than lose that book now. So that means that we are actually a kind of a phase transition creature, just like viruses are on the threshold between those inanimate systems 1 and 2, inanimate and biological. So humans are on this cusp between biological and material culture systems. And we are seeing this transfer of power from the natural to the artificial systems with an accelerating increase in its scale and range. So the evolution of technology is now outpacing natural selection so greatly that we've entered an era where biological variation is ever more frequently constrained by us. Increasingly it will also be designed by our species. The technological realm reverberates in the biological one. Thank you very much.